This is part 2 of activity 2A, project 2A for Word 2010. And we're on page 314 in the Go book, activity 2.07 using the if function. The if function is a function that makes a decision about what goes in a cell. And we have to provide it with three things. We have to provide it with a logical test that is either true or false, and then a value to put in the cell if the logical test is true, and a second value to put in the cell if the logical test is false. They want us to go to H13, which is next to the word category here, and type stock level. And in H14, which is right here, the formulas, go to the formulas tab, and we want the if function. Formulas, that's a logical function. Choose if. And here's our function arguments dialog box, and we have to provide it with a test. Okay, a test is usually involves comparing two values, a cell with another cell or a cell with a constant. And we use the relational operators that are on page 315 at the top. Equal, greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal to, and not equal to. Notice that not equal to is a less than sign followed by a greater than sign. When you type in these comparison operators, they must be typed in exactly as they are on the top of page 315. The ones that are made up of two characters, the characters must be in the order given. You're not allowed to put space in between the two characters either. So now we want to be able to we want to put a logical test in here, and we want to click on cell A14. Okay, A14 is the quantity in stock, and I want to know if that is less than 125. Okay, and now I can click or tab to go down to the next box. And if it is under 125, then I want to the stock level to say order. I need to get some more. So I can type order in there, and then I'm going to tab out or click out. Notice when you put text in a cell, it automatically puts quotation marks around it for you. If you use the dialog box like this, it'll put the quotation marks in. If you don't use the dialog box and type it in yourself, just on the formula bar up here, then you're responsible for putting in the quotation marks. And the value if false is the word OK, and if I click out of there or tab out of there, I'm going to tab now, and it takes me down to the help option, and then tab again, it takes me over to OK, and then I'm going to click on OK, and it should tell me that stock level is OK because it's over 125. And I want to use the fill handle, and I want to copy this formula. The fill handle is that little black skinny plus sign that's used to copy or fill formulas. And I want to go all the way down to row 68 here and fill it in. And it will tell me if the levels are okay or if I need to place some orders. And save the workbook, and now let's go to activity 2.08. And we're going to do conditional formatting here. That involves making a decision. I'm going to do Control Home to get back to the top of my document. And conditional formatting says change the appearance of the cell depending on the value that's in the cell. And I want to select the range in column 8 from here all the way down to H68. And what we're going to do is we're going to make stuff look different if the word order is there. We want this to be brought to our attention. We want to make it real easy to see. So conditional formatting is back on the Home tab, and it's in the Styles group right here. Click on Conditional Formatting, and what we want is there's a bunch of options here. We want the Highlight Cells rules, and we want one that has text that contains. And what we want is the word order. So if it has the word order, we want it to look different. And by default, it's light red fill with dark red text. So you can see right away it's doing a live preview here of what that's going to look like for us. But we're going to make up our own custom format. So click on the down arrow over here and click on Custom Format. And what we want to do is we want the font style to be bold italic, and we want the font color, there's the color, to be red accent 2, which is this one, and then click on OK, and click on OK again, and now we want to do some conditional formatting on column A, so I'm going to select everything from A14 down to A64, or 68 rather now, and do some conditional formatting here. So we're going to go to conditional formatting again. This time we're going to use something called data bars, and we're going to do a gradient fill, and we want the orange data bar, which is right here. Okay, and what that does is it puts a long bar in here for big items and a short bar in here for short items. And so now you can also see if something has a real short bar, then you can see that that probably is also something that needs to be ordered. So you can kind of tell two ways here which items you're low on. Now we're on activity 2.09 on page 317. And we're going to use find and replace in here, which works exactly the same as it does in other formulas. We want to select the range F14 to F68. So here and then all the way down to the bottom of column F. And we want to go to the Home tab, which we're already on, in the Editing group, which is way over here. And we want the Find and Select group, and click on that and choose Replace. And we want to find everything that says paper, envelope, and make sure we type that right. And now we want to replace it with foil packet. And our screen should look just like this. And now we're on page 318, and I want to do replace all, and it will come back and tell me, okay, what did I do wrong here? Paper, envelope. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to do find all, and it's finding it. So find next and find now. Okay, it's finding them all for me. I'm going to try replace once here, and that worked. Now let's do replace all. Okay, it worked. We got 18 replacements, and we already did one by hand, so we should. It's a total of 19, so that's right. And I'm not sure what I did wrong before, but it's working now. And now we're on objective 2.10 on page 318. And we are going to go down to the bottom. And we're going to go to leave one empty row and go to 70. And we're going to put edited by Frank Barnes and hit enter, and then down here we want to put in the current date, and that's on our formulas tab, and that's under date and time. And the function now gives us a little bit of help here, and just click on OK, and it gives us the current date and time. Now this does not automatically update. If I just let this go for a few minutes, it will continue to say 17.05 or 17:05. It only updates when the spreadsheet is recalculated. Okay, so unless I recalculate, it will not automatically update. As soon as the time changes down here from 5:05 p.m. to 5:06 p.m., okay, it just changed down here. Notice this did not change. I can force a recalculation in Excel by pressing F9. I'm going to do that right now. And notice how the time automatically updated. And now we're on 2.11. and we're going to freeze and unfreeze panes. Do Control Home to get up there to A1. Scroll down until row 40 is at the top of my window, which is right there. And it says to notice that all of that stuff that we had on top is not visible. And do a Control Home and go back up to the top. And now let's go to row 14, which is right here. And it says to select the whole row, but we don't actually have to do that. And now we want to go to the View tab here, and we want to freeze the panes. This is a real useful feature if you've got a long list and you want to remember which stuff is in which column. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose Freeze Panes here. And you see a little line that comes in there. Now watch what happens when I scroll. Okay, those rows will always be visible. I simply put the cursor right below the last row that I want to freeze. You don't have to select the whole row, and then freeze the panes. We are now on page 320 on number 4, and it wants us to turn that off. So we're going to unfreeze them, and now we're back to the way we were before. And now we're on activity 2.12, creating a table in Excel. And click in any cell in the data below row 13. So I'm already below row 13, so I'm in the data here. And this is a table. I mean, it's a table in the ordinary English sense of the word. But a table in Excel has a specific meaning. And what we want to do is we want to create a table here. And that's on the Insert tab, just like it is in Word. And click on Table, and it will automatically select all of the data here that's contiguous. So it goes down to row 68 down there and stops, and it goes over to column H and it stops. And it says where's the data, and there's also a checkbox there. It wants to know if that first column here is the column headers, and it is. And so we can click on OK. And you see what it does. It does a couple of things. It draws a little border around all of this, and it alternates the row colors. It makes the headings look different, and it gives us these little drop-down boxes here which we can use to filter our data, which is kind of a useful thing to be able to do. It's kind of a database kind of activity. And notice that when we have a table, if something is officially defined as a table in Excel, we get these table tools up here underneath the blue tab. There's a Design tab. And what we want to do is we want to go to the table styles here and hit the More button. And under Light, they've got Light, Medium, and Dark. Under Light, we want Style 16. And let's see which one. 14, 15, 16. So there's Light 16. And press Control Home. And I'm not saving them like they recommend to every time, but you can if you want to. And now we're on activity 2.13, sorting and filtering an Excel table. And that's what these down arrows here allow us to do. And I want to go to the retail price column, and this is the arrow that they're talking about. And click on the arrow, and we can sort smallest to largest here, and it puts them in ascending order by retail price. Notice the little arrow there that tells us that we've applied sorting to this column. And go to the category over here and click on its arrow and do an A to Z sort, and now everything is in alphabetical order by category. And it tells us we can also do reverse alphabetical sort. Notice the arrow now goes down instead of pointing up. And click the category arrow again, and it says on the menu click the Select All checkbox. That will turn all of the checkboxes off. And click to select only the Extract checkbox, and then click on OK. So this is called filtering. and it lets you select just the ones that you want to see. And notice a couple of things happen when you filter. You get blue numbers over here, and obviously since we're hiding some of them, there are going to be some missing numbers, and all of our missing numbers are here between row 13 and row 61. Okay. If I pause the mouse here, it'll tell me what filter is currently being applied. And it says click anywhere in here and go to the ribbon and click the Design tab. And we want to go to the Table Style Options group, which is right here, and select the total row, and it'll add a row to our table, and that's where we left a blank line there. And it will sum numeric columns like quantity, and actually do item number here too, although that doesn't make any sense, but it's a number. And it will count text fields, so it tells us that we have 8 rows in that particular category. And then we go over here to A69, click on the down arrow, and we want to choose sum, and it will sum that column instead of putting the word total there, and we get 2190, which agrees with the book. Now we're on number 8 on page 322. Click cell A11. I'm going to do Control Home here to go to the top, and then go to A11 and type Extract Types, colon, press tab to move over instead of moving down, and in B11 we want the number 8. Oh, we're supposed to put a label on the end of that. 8 parenthesis 2000 comma 190 total items in stock. Okay. I'm not sure why he has us do that, because that's really not very useful. Put in there because that number those numbers can change, and we're making them constants right now. And now we want to go to number 9, and we go to the table header row and go to the category over here, and we want to click clear filter, and it turns the filter off, and it restores everything that was in the table. Now we want to go to the packaging arrow and click on it, and we want to turn everything off here by clicking select all, and then we want foil packet, and then we want to click on OK. And now we're going to scroll a little bit, and we should get, for foil packet, we're going to do another filter here. We're going to go to the category column, and we're going to apply a filter, and we want to turn off all of these, and we want the herb checkbox, and click on OK. And we've got 2 filters on, which is legal to do. You see a little funnel in a column that has a filter applied, and if you pause the mouse, it'll tell you what the filter criteria is. And then we look at our screen. We should get 1346 down here, and we do. It says go back to the category arrow and click on it, and we want to clear the filter from category, and we want to do the same thing on the packaging column, clear the filter from the packaging column. And in the table header row, click the item number arrow, which is this, and we want to sort from smallest to largest, and now we've got them in numeric order based on the item number. And now we go to 2.14 and click anywhere on the table, and that will give us our table tools back up here. And on the Design tab in the Table Style Options group, which is right here, click the total row box to clear the check mark and remove the total row from the table. And now if I scroll down to row 69, it's gone. And on the Design tab in the Tools group, click on Convert to Range. and that will make it so it's not a table anymore. And click on yes when it verifies that. And now the only thing that happened here is the formatting on row 13 is gone. There is no little darker colored box around this. There was a little tab down here before. I don't know if I pointed that out, but there was a little tab there. It's no longer a table, but it's still got the formatting here. But if we happen to do some sorting now or filtering now or rearrange some stuff here, it's not going to preserve the alternating row colors. It only does that if it's formatted as a table. So now we're on page 323, and what we want to do is print and scale. So it says do a Control Home to go to the top of the worksheet. Select the range A13 to H13. So A13 to H13 is right here. And we're going to do some styling here. We're going to make those heading 4, and we're going to center them. So go to our cell styles up here, and heading 4, and center. And then we want to insert the header and the footer. That's on the Insert tab, just like it is in Word. Go to Header and Footer. And it changes our view down here to Page Layout. And with Page Layout View, you can see your header and footer. And we want to go to the footer, so click on Go to Footer up here. And we want to go to the want to click just above the word footer, which is the left part. We get 3 parts here for our footer all the time in Excel. And we want to put the file name in there, and it gives us a little code that says ampersand file with square brackets. And we want to delete these unused sheets down here. Right click and choose delete, and right click and choose delete. And now we're back to sheet 1, and it says do a Control Home. And it also says we need to go back to normal view here. You don't want to stay in Page Layout View very often, or very long, I don't think. So go back to normal view, go back to the top of your document. And we're going to do themes now, which I don't really think is a big deal, but we'll do it. And we want the one called Concourse, which is this, and this will change some of our colors for us. Changes our fonts up here. And now go to the Page Setup group, which is this group right here, and click Margins, and we're going to do Custom Margins, which is down here at the bottom. And in the Page Setup dialog box, we want to go to the Margins, and under Center on Page down here, we want to center it horizontally, and click on OK. And in the Page Setup group, again, choose Orientation, and we want Landscape. Okay, and you see here's the page border right here. It's still going to be a little bit too wide. And now we want to do a Print Preview. They do a keyboard shortcut that I'll never remember, so I'm just going to go here and click on the File button, or File tab rather, and click on Print, and it's going to show me my print preview here in a second. And at the bottom down here, it tells me how many pages there are, and it's 5 pages. So I can kind of scroll through it here and see what it's going to look like. That's page 2. We're going down the page, and this is page 3. And now that stuff that didn't fit on the right side, we're back up to the top. That's page 4. And that's page 5, and that really doesn't look very good. So we're going to make some changes here. We want to go to the ribbon and go to Page Layout, and go to Page Setup, and whoops, I clicked on the wrong thing there. And under Print Titles, it says Rows to Repeat at top, and we're going to click on this little button here that will collapse our dialog box, and then click on row 13 and click on this again, and it will repeat these rows at the top of every page for us when we print. And then we want to do a print, click on OK. We want to do a print preview again, so go to File here and Print, and we'll get the print preview. And now we should see column headings at the top of every page. I'm not going to check out page 2 yet. I'm on number 11 on page 325. And in the center panel at the bottom, I want to fit all columns. Scaling here is where you can shrink things down. And I want to fit all the columns on one page. If I did the sheet on one page, everything would be way too small. But I'm gonna shrink the width of it a little bit here. And now it all fits on one page. And now I've got 2 pages. If I click on the arrow down here, second page still has the column headings at the top. And now I'm at the bottom of page 325. Actually, I'm at the top of page 326. And this is where we do the property stuff that we're not doing in this class. So we are now done with project 2A. So we can go ahead and save our document. And that's the end of project 2A.